Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
And you won't be angry?
I will not be angry.
Abbey someone.
Abbey someone. Abbey who?
Abbey normal.
This is the Abbey Normal Podcast, here to tell you that you're weird, and that's normal. Hello, party people. Abbey Normal back from the brink. You may not have noticed, but there have been no new episodes of this show in 2025. And y'all really should have emailed and said, "Oh my God, I miss your show so much, Abbey," because a girl could have used some encouragement. This year has been brutal. But how are you? Have you spent 2025 swirling in the depths of despair? Or are you right this minute feeling good because you're on a vacay or something? That's cool. I'm happy for you. Anyway, I haven't been totally couch-bound. I've actually been helping my friend Emily start a new Episcopal church. She was on the show a couple years back, so you might remember her. Her mom screamed at Satan because she was dating a girl. There's more, but for some reason, that story conjures a good visual. So yeah, Emily started a church. I helped her. And I recorded it all, because this might be the most weird thing ever. Everything's in the toilet, largely due to far-right faux Christian nationalism, and I'm out here like, hey, have we tried starting more church? But look, everybody should be leaning into their thing, how they find comfort and community, how they resist the horrors of this life and lift the people around them. And the hand I've been dealt this time around is organized religion. So with this blip of life on earth, I'm going to try to make it a place of belonging and meaning for anyone who wants it. And if you don't, I know that there's community for you elsewhere. Anyway, this episode is actually the first episode of my new show called The Faithful Resistance. I'm giving it to you right here, right now. I hope you like it, and then go find the show on whatever platform you use. And if you're even mildly entertained, please rate it many stars so that other people can find it too. All right, are you ready? Here we go.
As people who have a more critical take on the church and how it could be in the world, as those people disaffiliate, we are handing the keys to this monstrously powerful thing called organized religion to the authoritarians and the fascists.
So I think that we were just willing to go to hell.
Hello and welcome to The Faithful Resistance, where we're enraged and not pretending to be okay. I'm your host, Abby Taunton. This is episode 1. Welcome to the Hinge. Every episode begins with a pithy take on what I don't like in some church communities and how it could be different. Nothing super deep, but for this first episode, an introduction to the show, I want to invite you to feel however you feel. And if someone asks, "How are you?" a totally acceptable answer is, "Not okay." For me personally, enraged is often the answer. Now, this show is not about me, but since you're going to hear my voice, I want you to feel like we're friends, or at least not think I'm a total bitch. So, I'm a middle-aged white lady in California. Hold on, don't go. I was raised in a loving home. I was also raised seriously evangelical, with the Vacation Bible School and Awana and summer camp and purity pledges and prayer at the pole and tons of CCM, contemporary Christian music.
Almighty God, you give me strength.
I believed that I was not the right kind of girl or woman. I was not sweet. I was not quiet. I was not calm. I also believed being gay was a sin. I believed everybody was going to hell unless they accepted Jesus into their heart. And so I went on missions trips to tell people about Jesus. I got married at 19 because premarital sex was a sin, and also marriage was what I was supposed to do with my life. I voted Republican. I got divorced, which was good for me and also bad, shameful sin. Then, through a barrage of adult-level reality checks involving knowing other humans, my belief system shifted. I am not that same naive gal, carrying truly fatal theology in my soul.
When we get there, seems like heaven.
Whew, I am sorry to run through all of that so quickly and at such a surface level. My deep-down Christian girl people-pleasing tendencies have me sweating. That you'll press stop because you're offended by anything I said. I'm too Christian. I'm not Christian enough. I'm not the right kind of Christian. But I'm going to take a deep breath on that one and keep moving forward. And I hope that you will stay. Truly, I hope you do. So look, I had a lot to process. And so I did what most people do when they can't afford therapy. I recorded a podcast to laugh/cry about all the things that I felt weird about, things I did and thought and said, and a bunch of other normal stuff in life that makes people feel weird about themselves. The show is called Abbey Normal. You get it? Abnormal. That's me. Anyway, in January of 2022, I put out a series of episodes highlighting the stories of disillusioned ex-evangelicals like myself, folks raised in what I would term fundamentalist Christianity, now looking for their place. Some in the series were pushed out of the church by its theology around sexuality. All had witnessed their church's treatment of the LGBT community and wanted no part of it. They were also real mixed up by their faith tradition's confusing support of an unkind and irresponsible president, or their church's resistance to COVID protections for the immunocompromised, or the lack of reaction to the horrors that produced a racial justice movement. They were heartbroken and clear-eyed. This was not for them. But for many, the question was, now what? They hadn't lost their faith. In fact, they had worked hard to keep it. They still wanted to follow the teachings of Jesus, ideally in community. But was there a place for them? This is ex-evangelical Emily.
Because there aren't a lot of places to go. If you change your mind about who you think Jesus is, what you think his death on the cross meant, if you change your mind about who you think God is, if you change your mind about gender, if you change your mind about sexuality, if you change your mind about the nature of the state, just politics, government, you are often left with nowhere to go. There's a lot of us out there that felt like we had to give up on this kind of community in our lives and this kind of belief in our lives because it didn't fit the mold that we saw. And I deeply believe there's another way to do it.
The answer was and is yes, there are places for all kinds of Christians, or whatever your spiritual persuasion. But that doesn't mean it's easy to find or even safe to go looking. So here we are, 3.5 years after I put out those episodes. And holy shit, this situation has ramped the up. Christian nationalist beliefs which found fertile soil in white evangelicalism have literally taken over the U.S. government.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, I feel like most of the global church would be like, oh, that's just like American Christianity.
Right? We don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
The direction of the federal government is distressing to many Americans. And for Christians like me, it's been especially upsetting to see that this has been perpetrated and supported by people who claim that name for themselves. So as we see services and protections reduced, many are turning to community wherever they can find it. Tapping into one's mosque or temple or church can be an easy way to find community.
Church is such an important thing for that kind of community. It's a really specific kind of community. It's a chosen family of sorts. And they take care of really specific things, like the casseroles and the gifts, the meals, all of it. It's also like church is one of the only intergenerational spaces other than a family. It's really hard to do, I think. But it's also a place where things other than the material have value. The church is a place where you can ask those spiritual questions, and they actually have immense value. And sometimes it's hard to know where to put that part of our lives. And church is where you can do that. I think that's really important.
But we've got a rapidly growing group who have fled the conservative church. And even if they have some version of faith, are hesitant to go back. These are folks who already lost a community, probably even lost family, to cult-like political beliefs or hardline theology around gender and sexuality, or most likely a swirling stew of both. I would propose that for these hurt evangelical wanderers, it's becoming more urgent to find a place to worship freely and be reminded of what Jesus was about, because that seems to have become convoluted, and because those speaking for Christianity in the U.S. do not speak for us. This is ex-evangelical, current Episcopal deacon, Dan.
I do think that every time you see a miscarriage of justice and theological malpractice in Christian history, there is usually some movement which comes along among those who were hurt by it, who have a role to play in telling the next chapter and correcting the course of the church. And I think we have a lot of people who have been really badly hurt by the white evangelical version of Christianity has hurt a lot of people. And I get why a lot of them want to leave. But my hope is that they won't all leave, because I think some of them have a really important story to tell that's going to help us figure out what happens next with Christianity in America.
Those who have been hurt by the church have a role to play in what happens next with Christianity in America. And so this story begins with Emily Hansen Curran, a passionate believer in California who, though pushed out of evangelicalism due to her sexuality, persists to the point of deciding to start her own church. This is Emily exploring Phyllis Tickle's ideas about the history of Christian Reformation.
When Christians despair of the upheavals and reformations that have been the history of our faith, when the faithful resist, as so many do just now, the presence of another time of reconfiguration with its inevitable pain, we would all do well to remember that not only are we in the hinge of a 500-year period, but we are also the direct product of one. We need as well to gauge our pain against patterns and gains of each of the previous hinge times through which we have already passed. It is especially important to remember that no standing form of organized Christian faith has ever been destroyed by one of our semi-millennial interruptions. Instead, each simply has lost hegemony or pride of place to the new and the not yet organized form that was birthing. I think we are probably at one of these 500-year period hinges in Christendom where there's another reformation happening. And like she says, no standing form of organized Christian faith has ever been destroyed by one of these eruptions. Instead, it's just lost the pride of place of the powerful, to the not yet organized form that was birthing.
Emily's idea, currently a not yet organized form, is a ministry to those hurt by the Christian church, a soft path out of Christian nationalism.
The election people are going to be looking for something. But especially if it goes the way of Trump, if he continues to be who he has been, there are going to be evangelicals who've been on the fence who fall out of the evangelical world because of him. And I want to be a place they can find safety and all that.
The church Emily dreams of is nothing new per se, as the life of Jesus which she follows is 2,000 years old now. But it is a new expression, combining the fervor for community of her evangelical roots with the traditional liturgical practice of the 100-year-old Episcopal Church. Plus, what many learned in their journey away from fundamentalism, that there's so much about regular life that is holy, our bodies, our stories, conversation, the beauty of nature, music, art, literature, philosophy, just being.
This more feminist approach to church is a genuine new expression of what it means to be church right now. So,
so mad now.
He's hitting himself in the head.
Oh no!
With a stick. I know.
Okay, give him a cuddle. That's the kind of holy moment I mean. Emily's baby who needs her. This is Lizzie.
We are collectively, humankind is the image of God. So how do you get to know who God is? You get to know people, and not just people that are like you, but people that are different from you and have different perspectives and giftings. And in the idea of Imago Dei, there's also this idea that everyone is holy and divine as well, because we all carry God within us. So everyone has inherent dignity.
In this show, we'll attempt to answer some questions. Why would you even start a church in modern times while church attendance is in steep decline?
The institutional church, as everyone has been saying for 15, 20 years, is dying, is dead.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of church are we mourning the loss of right now? We're mourning the loss of the wealthy, white, colonial expression of church. That's what's dying. And to that we say good riddance.
Okay, so why try? And we'll explore how would you do it within structures that also provide accountability. Can a queer woman do it? Will she be successful? And really, what even is success? This was Emily's first pitch to her team.
Everyone is facing these big, serious questions about what the future looks like for Christianity and for organized religion. And to that, I say, bring it on. It's all right. Those old forms can die. This can die. This might not ever be anything, but it's not something to be afraid of, but instead something to just face head on and to walk towards in the uncertainty and the mud and muck of what's ahead.
Emily chose to walk through that muck, and I agreed to help her. Yet there were things that we didn't anticipate, like a new president who, for example, criticized one of the bishops of this denomination and established a, quote, faith office and task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias, which seemed to be meant to silence criticism of one particular brand of Christianity that has faithfully supported this leader and his party.
For certain that the far Christian right would not consider what we're doing Christian. But that's been true for all time. I grew up thinking Episcopalians were not Christians, that they were lukewarm and that God would spit them out of God's mouth at the end times. That was just a fact. But we weren't being policed by the government. We were in this McCarthy era, policing, which we might be entering into. I don't know. I mean, I'm not afraid. I think it's actually thrilling. We're launching a church that is so squarely in the middle of this phenomenon happening right now in our country, and how we will be shaped by it, what we will be forced and pushed to be and to do, and who we speak up for, and how we use our power is going to be fascinating, and it's going to change us. We won't be the same. It's going to make us have to make some big decisions, I think, about what we think it means to follow Jesus, and that is wild.
So despite those mucky factors, I asked Emily if I could document her efforts. And that's what I did over the past year. This show is about starting a new church, but it's also about changing our mind and choosing our own path. This is Emily talking to an audience about her experience and her vision.
There were some beautiful moments growing up, evangelical. The certainty is certainly part of the beauty of it, because everybody knows that this is what you're trying to be and do. These are the answers. There's a standard, and you have to do those things, and then you can be these things. When you take that away, it sort of wrecks the community. It makes it a lot more ambiguous and a lot more uncertain. And that uncertainty does not bond people together the way certainty does. But that is my big wondering, is can we do it? Can we move into community like that? The beauty and the goodness while holding the ambiguity and the uncertainty of what we know to be true and not holding people to like moral answers, a standard of living that they have to abide by in order to get there. I do think it has a lot to do with hanging on to what was good, even in the pain, and taking that with us as well.
That's good.
Welcome to a Hinge in Christendom, a time when things seem spiritually bleak. Yet if you look closely, weird little places are sprouting like mushrooms. Places like this new church in California's East Bay, where the faithful resist. Oh, were you wondering what the faithful are resisting? Well, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, we are no longer pretending to be okay, which is what we have done in our prior religious experiences.
Yeah.
Bottling up, whole bunch of bullshit. We're all the same. We all believe the same thing. We are all smiling every damn day, right?
But there's something so nice about that.
Shut your mouth. We're not doing it.
It's like...
We're resisting the inclination toward a comfortable place where everyone is the same.
Church being the most segregated hour.
That's right.
I grew up in Chinese ethnic enclave type of churches. And the Episcopal Church is also historically very white. We always went to church with our own tribe.
Feeling like we have to write off all our past religious experiences.
Growing up Catholic, one thing I thought was really badass is there are a bunch of saints who are little girls.
I still love the Bible.
We're resisting fundamentalism, the need to be right, the need to defend one's beliefs.
I can't care about this. I can't care. I can't even formulate the words of how stupid I think this is. This is the dumbest thing I've ever experienced. And I would get really angry about it because I don't think Jesus cares about this. I don't think this matters to God even at all.
The strong pull toward apathy in the face of insurmountable division and harm.
It's gotten more politicized. It's gotten worse. And even friends of ours who are still in the conservative church can't find churches either because they've been magnified. So this takeover, it is much deeper than just the people who deconstructed and left. It's the people who are remaining. It's over all of us. It's almost like, where is the head? I can't find the where do you chop off the evil?
We're resisting the blank void of death and despair. Giving up on religion because of the rot and abuse of power in its institutions.
I just don't want to live in this space of deconstruction and not knowing and constant re-questioning of my spiritual life. And I think for a while that led me to just I don't want any of it. I really do not want any of it, but I still wanted it.
Resisting being embarrassed of one's desire for the divine and a place to talk about it and people who appreciate this part of you.
Where would we find that sense of belonging, and where could we actually practice with other people the kind of faith that we wanted to?
Resisting toxic patriarchy and obviously assigned gender roles.
I also like that it's a woman-led church, which is different than most evangelical churches.
All evangelical churches.
Pardon me. Yes, indeed. I like that a lot. I mean, you can't do any worse than the men, right?
Resisting consumerism.
Churches run the risk of trying to cater too much to putting out a product that people want to consume, and it can become where people are not invested in the creation of the thing, and it's an expectation that the thing will be created for them.
We're resisting settling for the status quo.
A coworker of mine, he said to me, if it's not broke, break it. It's
I like it.
Yeah, all right. Following Dent on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see your power structures, and we're going to use them for our ends.
That's right. We are putting just infants on the stage. Totally reversing this order.
We are. Straight out of the gate, using the altar rails as a baby gate was, I think, one of our best moves.
Mm-hmm. And just like having the Oakland motorcycle gang, like also just bleeding through the front door at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
The level of
Turns out that's a Sunday night thing that they do. So I think we will always compete.
What are you resisting? Add it to the list. Also, if you're a non-faithful resistor, you're welcome here too. Are you wondering if Emily is an egomaniacal cult leader? Yeah, me too. Tune in next episode to get to know her better. This song is Like a Woman Can by Kim Taylor.